Welcome to a special edition of Tigs Bits. On the show this week, we speak with legendary radio personality Bubba the Love Sponge. You will see and hear the behind-the-scenes prep that Chad and I do for the interview, and then the actual interview itself, and then our post-show reaction, which should be pretty funny. To say this is a big moment for Tigs Bits, that would be an understatement. And we're beyond pumped to be on the show and to be able to talk to Bubba the Love Sponge. Look, we want to welcome all of the new followers and the subscribers to the show, and especially the Bubba Army. Good God, you guys are crazy. Y'all have just come out of the woodworks to support this show, and we cannot thank you all enough. So without any further ado, let's get into it.
So let's talk real quick on this. How are we going to the physical act of calling into the show? What's going to happen?
He wants to talk to you, and I have that. I mean, I'm not. That doesn't bother me one bit. I want the show is being talked about. I don't even have to talk, but I mean, I'm going to be there. Oh, yeah. But honestly, kind of listening to them. They're playing. He wants to hear you talk.
Well, it's the comments, right? And then we're going back in Willie, like, you know, the show, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's no doubt.
Honestly, I think that you need to call in and start it off.
So I need to let me make sure. I mean, I know how to do a three-way call. Call you first, and then we'll be on with you, and then I'll do the add call,
and then you just merge,
and then just merge it in and hit the merge button.
You think I ought to put a podcast about podcasts back up on the website as the main thing when people go to tigsbits.com instead of our latest podcast, which is what the website says, latest podcast?
I might feature, for the purpose of what's happening, that little Bubba run. Like, you know what I mean? Just to do that, just to get the attention.
Just the clip? Just that
maybe,
clip?
Right? Or
that I put out?
Or either the whole podcast, one of the two. Like, if you're talking about if we get some run on this today, if people want to hear what was said, you know, he may run it again. He may run it again this morning.
Yeah, I got a feeling he probably will. If he can have 5 easy minutes of you talking again and then our reaction, then of course that's perfect. And I love your glass.
I guess when we actually make the call in, I'll keep the mic hot and all, but I'm gonna get rid of the earbuds so I'm focused and hearing, so we'll be able to not hear each other than through the call.
Yeah, we won't. Yes, exactly. We're not gonna hear it. We won't hear each other. But the good thing with having a video, with us both being on videos, we're gonna both be listening, and I can point at you, or you can point at me, or you know, we can still point, and you know. Or something. It was like, ah!
I'm gone.
The Bubba the Love Sponge story on YouTube. Yep. Maybe I should just highlight that video because that is just to the point. There you go. And there's traffic coming. They're going to come to that video.
Yeah. You want to do any pre-talk before we get ready to do the show at all?
So you're going to be the one when we call in. I mean, what are you going to say? What are you thinking you're going to say when we get right on the air?
Hey, Bubba. No, man. I'm just going to jump right in and just say, oh, brother, this is it's awesome to be here. I mean, it was so cool last week to get the call, and I'll probably get right into how we even found out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in a hospital. I'm working.
Yeah, dude. I think that's the
listener
story.
Here local.
That's the story. Because it is I think that was organic. We just tell the story. How the hell did you guys end up? How am I interviewing you? Why am I interviewing? You know what I mean? Well, this is how it happened.
But my first idea was to jump in, talk about how we even found out. Like, all right, because we're on the show. We're a small podcast, and then talk about how even the show came about. Like, hey, this was a show. We talked about doing a show on Radio Host. We'd never done one. Last minute, had to change it up from what we were going to talk about, which was condiments. And we went from condiments to Bubba the Love Sponge. And
you never know, man. I sure as hell didn't think that a throwaway show, not a throwaway show, but just we're going to get a damn show done today. By God, we've had too much adversity. We've had too much adversity. Just all kinds of
No
stuff.
power
Chad's
cords,
been
had to
going
record
crazy.
from
It's
a
like
phone.
we are recording something tonight, no matter what. And then just before we go on, I said, look, I got a feeling this is going to be the best show we've ever done.
Boom. And here we are. Next thing you know, here we are on Bubba the Love Sponge, the Rocky of radio.
I never really listened to a lot of the shock jock radio and that type of stuff. For morning drives and stuff, that's just not really my deal. I listen to sports talk radio, which is what if I listen to any kind of radio programming, I still listen to sports talk radio. So I never really listened to the shock jocks as much. Your Walton and Johnsons, your Bob and Tom, those kind of guys. I have a lot of respect for them. I don't know how they do it every day. Those morning zoos and the wild time. Like, I don't know.
That's unbelievable, dude. How do they come up with a 4-hour show day in
live,
and day out, and it's live? That's it's really unbelievable. I was sitting there thinking about that this morning, going, "This is crazy." He does this every single day, coming out of a break, going into another segment, and it's like they just continue to do this day in and day out. Well, it's like we talked about doing that show about favorite radio hosts. You know what I mean, like over your lifetime. And my top 3. So as a kid, dude, I love Paul Harvey. His delivery, he kind of
so good,
sitting on the edge of your seat, just waiting for what he was going to say next. And then you waited to hear the rest of the story at the end, which was always phenomenal. And that's what you're really waiting on. And so as a kid, that was my guy. And then after I graduated college, I went to moved to Pensacola, Florida, and that's when I found, this was 1999, I found Jim Rome. And dude, Rome, and I became just like a huge, jungle guy, listening to Rome. I still listen to Rome, and he kind of has that same delivery. Kind of reminded me of Paul Harvey. He had those breaks. Sometimes I'd turn my radio up, think I lost him, and he's like, man, it's, oh God, he's not done. He's just in thought. So, yeah. But then the third one was Bubba the Love Sponge, and I moved to Tampa in 2011. Those are kind of the 3 people, of course, Paul Harvey, rest in peace, is no longer here. But Jim Rome and Bubba the Love Sponge are the last 2 people that I really seek out and listen to. So. And I listen to a lot of other stuff, but those are consistent. Well, we are 12 minutes and counting before we go on Bubba the Love Sponge live, man. Legend of radio. I mean, this guy's done it all. Hands down, the most controversial guy in all of radio in the country. I mean, he's been with Sirius XM, had his own show there under Howard Stern. Then pissed people off there, and they ran his ass out of there. Not because he wasn't good, just because he's Bubba, man. And he's got hog trials and, being fined $1 million. But dude, into the Hogan sex tape scandal, the Nielsen ratings scandals. But this dude never quits.
He just keeps coming.
They beat him back. He causes, a lot of his own problems are self-inflicted, but some of them are not. You know what I mean? So he kind of gets a little bit of a bad rap as a bad guy. And he's actually a good dude, man. He's
exactly.
He's a shock jock. That's what he's supposed to do, right? He just took it to another level, and people couldn't handle it. I put into ChatGPT, I said, is Bubba the Love Sponge controversial? And it came back, dude. It was this great explanation. And it was going on, yes, he talked about all his controversies. And it was but one thing about Bubba the Love Sponge, he is persistent and he is a fighter, and he always finds a way to come back. And I thought that was so great. That's what AI told us, But it's true. That's really kind of that's the thing that's really the people, if you're a current fan, you know the story, you understand it, and you see the resiliency in him, you see his persistence, he never quits. That's from an inspiration standpoint. Now, I know that's not the point of his show. It's a fun show, but there is inspiration in that. Dude, no matter what, don't stop. I think new listeners can also gravitate towards that. You know what I mean? It's hey, here's a
don't
cat,
quit.
dude, that just never gives up.
I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for that.
He won't quit.
And listening to him in prep for this and some of the most recent shows, he's absolutely making a comeback. He's been on Howard Stern lately. He's making it known that he is trying to get back as big as ever. And now that he has Twitter back, now that Bubba has Twitter, coincidentally happens on the day that we come on board with all of this stuff, which is just even crazier. Bubba's going. He's going to be back. He's going to be back on top, and I have no doubt about that. Until he possibly does something to get in his way once again, and it screws it all up. But I want to watch. I want to see if that happens, and I'm happy to be a little bitty, minute part of this story. It's crazy.
Hey, it's part of the intrigue. It's part of why you watch. It's what you listen.
Oh yeah.
But I'm always rooting for him, and I found myself when I saw some things were happening. I've been in the car before. No, Bubba. No, Bubba. Don't go there. Just leave it alone, man. This is not going to be good.
Yeah.
And he can't help himself sometimes.
Brutally honest is what he is, with zero filter, and I love that. I love that about him.
And he's so unpredictable. And he's so unpredictable that, like, he doesn't even know what he's about to do next sometimes. He's smart, but sometimes he changes his mind rapidly. And that's what even makes it crazier. It's like this could go one way or another, and it's basically at all junctures, We
have no idea what could happen in this interview that we're about to do. It could get...
No, he could absolutely he could run us out in 60 seconds and say, "Get the hell out of my show," or he could love us and we could be on there for an hour. And it's somewhere in between that. I'm hoping that
I think that'd be great.
For 5 or 10 minutes.
For sure.
But
I
we've
think
done okay,
that
right? So. And I won't hate him if he hits a buzzer. He doesn't have a buzzer, but if he cuts us off, I'll just find it funny and amusing. Like, well, hey, I knew what I was getting into. This is Bubba. Like, I love him to death.
I'll be honest. I'm going to be I'll be a little disappointed in both of us if we get run from the show, but we'll come back if we just like Bubba.
I totally
if
agree.
We do. This ain't it. This ain't the end of the road for Tigs Bits. No, this is just the start. Y'all are just now starting to know who we are. We haven't even loosened up and become ourselves yet. Here we are, We're 5 minutes away from our lives changing.
It's called. Hey, this is Chad Blasey with Tigs Bits.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing? What's the timer say?
I turned it off. I don't need that kind of pressure in my life.
Oh, this is great. Oh, definitely need one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, good call. Hey, he hung up on us.
Hello, Bubba Show.
Hey, Lummy, I lost you, man. I'm back, though.
Is this Chad Brantley?
Yep.
Hey, why'd you guys hang up?
Man, we lost you. I looked down. I'm talking to Brantley, and I looked down at my phone, and I was like, uh-oh. We don't have a second call here anymore, boys.
By the way, this is Chad. We don't even have to talk to Brantley. We can hang up on him if he doesn't know anything.
Shame.
Like, he doesn't even know anything about the show. You were having to tell him how cool the show was. So don't let that Johnny come lately just try to get up on you. I mean, Chad, you're the one that is the person I want to talk to, not Brantley. Brantley wanted to listen to, who was his favorite guy? I forget. Brantley, who did you say was your must listen to?
Well, I love Conan O'Brien, Bubba, and I agree totally. I told Chad, I told Chad this. I said, Bubba doesn't want to talk to me, man.
No.
But I'm honored to be talking to you, Bubba. I really am. So thank you.
But Chad's the star of the show. Let's just be honest.
Oh,
okay?
for sure.
I mean, you're a pretty good host, Brantley, but Chad's country bumpkin, and then that chick that he's rolling around with, that's what's taking everybody to the dance. Come on, let's be honest with each other.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
Chad, who is that chick that you were with at the ball game?
Oh, that's my fiance. That's Amanda, man.
My Lord, that's above the rim action right there all day. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, like that's when I came in and hit you with that hot chick Willie on the backside after we got your attention. So.
She was unbelievable. Great selection. So anyway,
great selection.
Let me just give everybody just a little what we're talking about here. That just shows you how unconventional our show is because usually we would have a big time star like Tony Mandrich or Brett Favre or something, but we even have guys like Chad and Brantley who are not stars but are trying to do the best they can, putting together some content. Chad is a fan of the show, and by some organic measure, I was on YouTube or something. I think somebody sent me a link. And
you said someone sent it to you.
Somebody sent me a link somehow and be like, hey, this dude right here has got a podcast, kind of a small podcast nonetheless, but he could have picked 1 million people as to who his favorite radio guy was, and he picked you. And it's really refreshing because usually everybody's telling you how much you suck and, you know, how much you've changed and you've lost it all and you're a fat ass and you're a loser and, you know, and to have like some regular dude that just organically knows about the show and then will talk about it on his little show, it just really took me back. And especially...
You know a lot.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm just going to play the little 25-second clip. I wish I had the other clip, but Lummy lost it because he's stupid. But this is the clip that got my attention nonetheless. Hold on.
This dude's great. Like, he's just talking, you know, he's got crazy guests on, great friends with Hulk Hogan. Then this radio war started happening between the afternoon guy, Bubba. He let Hulk Hogan have sex with his wife, and it was recorded. And then the dude in the afternoon stole that information and then published it. And that was that Hulk Hogan sex tape. So Hulk Hogan ends up making $100 million. Bubba gets run out of the radio.
I mean,
I like him already.
And Jay,
I like
here's
to
the
say
deal.
radio.
Jay, you're my lawyer, and you're my lawyer during all that. And this guy is one of the very few that really gets it.
He summed it up in 35 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I should have hired you, Chad, to be my lawyer because I mean, you summed it up in 35 seconds.
Can we use that as the PR statement?
But
Absolutely.
and so I've been up and I get ribbed about it a lot. Like a lot of the fans and everybody's like, "Oh God, here's Bubba talking about, you know, yeah, we got it." But to hear somebody actually do comprehend what I've been trying to say,
Right.
I don't know, makes
you feel validated.
He gets it.
Yeah.
So Chad, I was just like so taken back that I am your favorite show, and you guys were talking about it on your podcast deal, and I don't know, I just kind of turned like into a little fanboy. I turned into a Chad fanboy, like a little bit.
How many times did you watch that clip, Bubba?
Oh, say it again! I will
It's
tell
on
you
repeat.
so many times that I can tell you Chad's flat top's on fleek. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, so much that I'm following him on my
What
Twitter.
are your favorite ones?
Oh, yeah.
For me, this is a little...
This is the whole thing in its entirety. Jay, you're going to love this. Listen, so, I mean, I've become such a fanboy for this guy that I follow him on Twitter, and I knew he took his hot fiance to the ball game on Saturday. So
He's talking carny to you, though.
Yeah.
He knows your language, too.
So listen, Jay, this is
Absolutely. I know I love language.
this is the entire clip right here. Listen to this.
different, right? So this is more of a radio personality, but he got driven to Twitch and YouTube because of his outlandish behavior. I shouldn't say behavior. I should say like the things that he was involved with are so crazy. Like it was too much for radio. And so this is a guy named Bubba the Love Sponge.
I need to hire this guy for an agent. He's like, this guy's too much for radio.
Gene.
And he's down in Tampa, and he's from what I think Warsaw, Indiana, originally. He spent time with Howard Stern on that show, and
Okay.
kind of learned under Howard. Became really good friends with Howard Stern, but he moved to Tampa. He's a shock jock, right? So everything he did is really. But he's such a dude.
I should hire this guy to sing a country and western song about my show.
Oh, he could
You know
write
what
a
I'm
song
saying?
about you right now.
Yeah, I mean, just this
Live on air.
this 5 minute and 16 said just put a little honky tonk music behind it, it'd be a hit.
Dude. But he was always pressing everything. So I moved to Tampa in 2011. So when I got there, he was on in the mornings.
Huh.
And it was phenomenal. I was like, this dude's great. Like, he's just talking, he's got
So
crazy
he was right in the
guests
middle of the
on.
radio war.
Oh yeah, this
He
guy
was right in the middle of the whole
This-
MJ thing.
This Chad character, he's got it all down, man. He really does.
Good.
Hold on.
Great friends with Hulk Hogan, and he's just out there doing crazy stuff. And then there was this guy in the afternoon named Mike Calta. They called him Cowhead. And it was like, man, I love this Tampa radio from morning drive to afternoon drive.
Yeah, I mean, until Kelter turned into a dick, man, they had two big, huge shows. Like, why would you change it? It's idiot. Hold on.
Great. But then this radio war started happening between the afternoon guy and Bubba. And Bubba, like, had somehow, like, in his video footage in his house,
Listen. Chad tries to get through this. Listen.
he let Hulk Hogan have sex with his wife.
I can smell Big I know.
And it was recorded. And then the dude in the afternoon stole that.
So stop it right
information.
there. He didn't say anything accusational about anything
I
there.
know.
That was like as artfully worded. Just so
I
you know,
know.
from a lawyer, A+, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, it was so. I mean,
It
you
was
know,
unbelievable.
It's like he knew he was going to come on the
It's
show.
unbelievable.
man. I don't know, man. This guy is the best. I love this guy. Hold on.
And then published it. That was that Hulk Hogan sex tape. And so Hulk Hogan ends up making.
See this, and Jay, this is the story that I wish the public knew.
He just summarized the whole thing. And
I
goes, so
know.
that was the Hulk Hogan sex tape.
Yeah.
So he just like summed up the whole thing in 30 seconds. Awesome.
$100 million. Bubba gets run out of the radio, like, because they thought he did it. And it's like, come to find out, it took like 2 years to investigate this. It was the afternoon guy, but the afternoon guy got the morning job, took over, and then Bubba like doubled down and got another show, and then got found guilty, like tampering with like Nielsen ratings.
Poor guy, you know. Poor guy.
It's hard to defend you.
But this poor guy, like, you know, he was trying to soften that. But
really was.
Soften that one,
Poor,
Bubba.
yeah, he was trying to, like, you know, come on now, fellas. I got to tell you the truth a little bit now. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of a piece of crap. Hold on.
He was paying a guy to listen to the show more. And like they ran him completely out of radio, man.
Which is true. Well, this guy's so got it. Hold
And
on.
it was like, I feel terrible for the cat. You know, I mean, it was because he's such a dude's dude, and his show is so good and he's so intriguing. It's like the guy you want to root for, and you're like, but I had to find him on Twitch in the weirdest places, you know, to
Interesting.
like listen to him. But now he's back on radio. I listened to him on Florida Man Radio, and there's multiple. There's Tampa, I think there's Orlando, there's Fort Walton, and luckily I can listen to 103.1 in Fort Walton. I can hear Bubba every morning.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So he's building back, but dude, he is like, I mean, like I said, Hulk got 100 million, Bubba got ran out of radio, and
That's it.
he lost everything.
That's it.
But dude, you can't help but love this guy. You know what I mean? He's just so entertaining. He's so good. He's so real. But dude, he can't get out of him. You know, he can't get out of his own way.
Also true. Also true.
It's true.
I mean, Chad really gets
Channeling Tom Bean there.
it. My God. Hold on.
You know what I mean? So it makes you relate with him. Like sometimes you think like how close in life you come to like everything. Oh gosh, everything could just fall apart. And like
Look at Brantley. Brantley's completely like, man, whatever. This guy sounds stupid.
he does it on radio, but you got to listen to him and you got to search him out.
Hold on. Then dumbass Brantley comes up with, talk about complete opposites. Conan O'Brien. Could I be any more opposite? Like,
No.
I mean, that just shows you who's tough
Polar
and who's a
opposite.
little bit soft. Chad, see, he's a country guy out there. He's tough. He's a real. Brantley, meanwhile, he kind of is like the Conan O'Brien softer kind of deal. Is kind of what I'm thinking.
Now Brantley's old Cajun, you know. He's a good dude. He appreciates a lot, and he's listening to this, and I've turned him on to you, and he's listening.
Yeah,
to
I mean, but Brantley, you got to admit, like, our show is completely different than Conan O'Brien.
Oh, absolutely, but in a good way, man. No, I'm a fan now, Bubba. Don't think that I am not. I absolutely love what you're doing. I love the rawness of it, man. That's what I just love. It's so raw, unscripted. You're ready to rock. Anything can happen.
But Steve's idea of paying people organically to call us really is going to end up working out well for us, isn't it? make sure Steve gets that check to you guys, fellas. This was all his idea.
Envelope. No check.
New Bubba, they've got this new marketing idea. I'm going to pay these two honky tonk guys to start listening to your show. You call them live. They put you over. We'll send you a few $100, okay? Exactly. Hold on here. Hold on. I got to get back to Chad. Hold on, Brantley. Stand by.
these days. But hey,
Hey, Brantley, you're a short timer. You shouldn't even be on the air. Only Chad should be on the air, but we'll let you stand by. Hold
He
on.
loves you.
Howard Stern, I mean, has been to like 2 weddings in his life. One of them was Bubba.
Look at Chad's got it, man.
He really knows.
Chad, I love
Telling
you.
you.
I'm such a mark for Chad. I really am.
He's only been here since 2011. He knows your
He's
life
not
since
even here anymore.
Warsaw.
He's not even here anymore. He's in Fort Walton now. He's gone. When did you leave Tampa, Chad?
I moved there. 2013.
So just
Oh,
2
my
years. He was
goodness.
only here for 2 years.
Oh.
got 2 pieces of artwork hanging on his wall, and one of them's Bubba's. He painted an abstract art for him. So, I mean, the cat is highly talented. He's just self-destructive.
Also true.
Oh, hold on. Let me play hold on. Let me go.
You know what I mean? But I still like him. I actually like him because of those reasons. So to me, he's like my number one guy that I'd seek out. Like if tomorrow he ended up back in obscurity, you know, and I had to find him on some weird channel, I'm going to listen to him.
That's
still.
awesome.
So
That is great.
P1 right
that's
there.
my number one guy in the radio business. And the,
Drinking a Miller
A
Lite.
Miller Lite?
Drinking a Miller Lite.
Not a Bud Light.
Yep.
No, hell no.
Not a Bud
Doc
Light.
Miller, baby. Doc
entertainment industry of putting out content It's Bubba the Love Sponge.
You had sent me some of that Bubba Love Sponge stuff before, and told me a little
Here's Brantley in his blue room.
bit about
Let's
him.
hear it.
Checked him out. Dude is nuts. I mean, no two ways about it. But very entertaining, sharp as a tack, like you say. Just, I mean, that dude's he's everywhere. So absolutely, I could get more
Yeah,
into.
make sure Steve gets that money right out to him. These guys are killing it. What we told them exactly what to do, are they not?
that.
Yeah, no, he's oddly entertaining and he's oddly addictive.
I would highly encourage anybody who has a death wish and wants to hear some crazy stuff. I mean that in a good way. Like, I mean, if you just want to hear somebody's life and stories that have just derailed, go to, I mean, your name's Bubba Love Sponge. Bubba the Love Sponge? Or is
Bubba
it
the Love
Love
Yeah, he's legally has changed his name to Bubba the Love Sponge. It's real name, I think.
By the way, I think we'll be hiring Chad to be my new publicist and agent.
New PR guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Once a week appearances.
So Chad, where do you live in Fort Walton Beach?
I'm actually over like in Freeport, Florida, which is just north of Santa Rosa Beach, just on the north side.
What
of
do
the
you
bay.
normally do for a living?
So I'm in medical device sales. So I mean,
Interesting.
doctors like Dan would be great to deal with, man. Those are the cool cats that you deal with on a daily basis. They're not always that cool.
Like,
So,
are you selling hips? Are you selling knees? What type of medical devices are you selling?
Yeah, I work with a company called Cordis. So we do basically like vascular access and closure. We do stents and balloons, so those arteries get clogged up.
Our uncle helped invent the cardiac catheterization way back when. Yeah.
My stepfather. If you know anything about medical devices, then you have. That's probably why you knew I was from Warsaw, Indiana, because it's the medical device capital of the world, isn't it?
Yeah,
Warsaw, Indiana.
Warsaw,
Indiana is the orthopedic capital of the world. It's where
Really?
It
All
is.
the joints are built there?
All the knees,
Yeah, all the other stuff.
all the
Really?
yeah.
That's
Zimmer,
cool. Made in
Biomat,
America,
Depew, yeah, exactly. Now, Brantley, what do you do for a living? Are you out fishing for crawfish all day? What do you do?
Bubba gum.
What do you do, Brantley?
I've got my white boots on. I'm getting shrimp all the time. Nah, man. I sell insurance. It's boring, man. I'm an insurance salesman. Sell that kind of stuff.
And how did you two guys come up with a podcast? Just have you been friends and you decided, man, technology has it where we can kind of zoom each other in and talk about you guys talk about all types of various things, not just how cool my show is, but just, life in general. And how did you two figure this out?
We were just talking, man, one night and, just decided, hey, I want to do a podcast. We're coming out of COVID and podcasts are going crazy, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And Chad and I were just visiting one night and over Zoom, actually. I said, you know what, we ought to record this and then just see what happens. And so they just started doing that and putting it out. And here we are on Bubba the Love Sponge show, which is flat out insane that we made it to this. But thank you.
How many followers you guys have?
I think they have, what do you guys got? 130 subscribers on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, 130.
Something like that on YouTube. We don't have very many yet, but hopefully we'll get a few more from after we talk to you.
Hey, we're gonna keep promoting you, have you on from time to time, because as a special little project, you're like our little brothers, and we're the big we're big timers, and you guys are just starting out. And rather than to be, most big timers will big time the starter outers, and we want to help the starter outers, especially Chad being the encyclopedia Bubba that he is. I love that guy.
Absolutely. Hey, but Bubba, I'll tell you, I mean, Brantley is the kind of the pimp in the box. He's the dang Wizard of Oz that puts all this together. I just show up my little shed in the backyard. I've turned into a little studio here.
Now, I know
That's super important.
Chad, I know the brains behind the operation. I know you're like the Lummy. You're like the Lummy. Brantley's Bubba. He keeps it going, and then you just Lummy yourself in occasionally. Look honky tonk.
That's it. And hey, we've got a third co-host that comes in, and that's JR the Handler, and he is Justin Moore's tour manager. And so he does a podcast with Justin Moore.
Hold on now.
so
We're
he
not
comes
familiar
on.
with JR the Handler now, are we, Lummy? We need to see some JR the Handler action
I like
here.
that name.
Yeah.
Hey, the Handler is legendary in country music. I mean, everybody knows JR. He is the man, but he comes in and helps us out too. He's just been kind of coming on and doing it. And the next thing we know, we've done probably 8 or 9 shows together. And so he's he's a third. He's the trifecta there, and so we're still trying to figure this thing out. You know, we're just having fun right now, looking to add guests to the show at some point.
That's what you need. You got to get guests. And here's the deal, man. Don't be discouraged by slow growth. Just keep doing it. I mean, I know that neither one of you, are relying on it for your major income because there's not a lot of money to it on the podcasting and the YouTube deal at first. Eventually, you could get it to be worth, you can make $2 or $3 grand on it. You really could. So don't give up, and more importantly, consider it a hobby. And you guys are pretty, formatically good, and you guys work well off each other from what the shows that I've seen. And occasionally, you have my number. I need to probably give you my number, Chad. I think, did I text you my number or did I direct message you? I forget which one.
I don't have it.
You
I'll get it to you.
And I'm not a social media guy.
No, but I'll get you my number. We'll keep in touch and let's have you on from time to time. You and I forgot about Brantley. Yeah, Brantley.
It'd be an honor, Bubba.
All right, guys, listen.
Sounds great,
Bubba
man.
Army, go to the YouTube channel. It's Tigs Bits. Is that what it is? Lummy, is that what it is on the YouTube?
Yes.
Tigs Bits, and then I'll take you to all the podcasting stuff and all that they do. And when's your guys' next show?
We're recording it as we speak, Bubba. It'll be coming out this Thursday.
Oh, that's smart, Lummy.
That
They're
is
going to use this as a show,
Brilliant.
and I give them full permission. So there you go. You got my full permission to
Boom.
use
Thank
this
you,
in any
Bubba.
way,
Thank
shape, or
you.
form.
Yeah, it was going to be the pre-show about the show, and then the afterthoughts.
You
after
guys
the show.
use whatever part of this stupid show you guys want. You guys use it, cut it up, whatever the hell you need, okay?
Oh, what are you talking about, man? You're the rock of your radio, man. So I appreciate you having us on, man.
And we'll keep in touch, and Chad, I'll text you today, okay, guys?
Sounds good, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you to the Bubba Army as well.
Isn't that just so
That was cool.
That was awesome.
I mean,
That made their life. They were so excited.
and here's the deal, man. Bubba Army, go check their stuff out. Go sub.
How about that? We survived, buddy.
Well, I don't think that could have gone any better, dude.
That's why I said you got to be prepared for some punches because he throws some, but they don't mean anything. You know what I mean? That's just Bubba.
No, I love it. I love dumbass
it's
Brantley.
good- it was good
I love
punches.
that he did.
Hey, I pulled you back in. Now, hold on now, Brantley. This is a dude. Yeah. So, we'll whittle you into the It's good, dude. That was absolutely great.
It was fun. We did great.
I'm sweating a little bit.
Oh,
I'm still
bro,
here.
I am sweating. I'm finally quit shaking. I'm not gonna lie. I was shaking. I was a little nervous, man. I don't get nervous for that, but that's the biggest radio show I've ever been on, and I've been on several. I've had a radio show.
Well, you
So-
said the first time we recorded, you were like, your words exactly. You said, I've been on radio, you've been on radio, but this is something different. And I remember thinking in my mind, I didn't correct you. I was like, dude, I've never been on radio. I mean, I've always dreamed of being on radio, but I've never been on radio. But to me, I'm on radio, right? I thought I was broadcasting to the entire world, which we were if they were willing to listen. But
We did it. We did it, man. We did it.
we did it.
We went from a little baby podcast to just having fun to we were just on a nationally syndicated radio show with a guy with hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. Dude, I am beyond grateful to Bubba the Love Sponge for having us on. I'm beyond grateful to the Bubba Army for their support. What fun we get to have now with this show. This opens up so many doors for you and I to finally really even let our true selves come through in this podcast that we do, because we have people that want to talk to us. We have feedback. It's really nice to have a little bit of feedback. So that's what we've been trying to get to, man, to get to where we can grow and start to get feedback back from an audience. We have an audience now. It's a little weird. I'm not going to lie. We've been going for a year and a half, just the two of us casually talking and not really worrying about what anybody hears. And we won't change that. That isn't going to change. We're not going to change one damn thing about the way that we do this show, except we want to engage more people to be more involved in the show, to where this show's like a community. You come to Tigs Bits, you come on a Thursday, you get your podcast, you're going to get your social media clips from that show. I know that not everybody listens to the show, Chad. You know, I know that not everybody's going to watch it. What's he saying?
Guys, make sure you put together some good. Brantley, you're the brains behind the operation. Put together some good shows now, buddy. Don't screw it up. There's a lot of eyes on you, bud.
No pressure. I was born for this, bro. Let's go.